Righto, on today's inspirations, we're going to check out Shane's 1965 FJ45. Exactly the same year model as this one, with a few differences. So Shane's 1965 FJ45, few modifications. Chopped, stretched, raised. Actually, there's not a single panel, bar the bonnet, on Shane's Cruiser that hasn't been modified. Let's check it out. Incredible. From its humble beginnings, the Toyota chassis was lengthened 400 millimeters and heavily strengthened to suit the suspension, which consisted of patrol leafs, airbags and torque rods front and rear, as well as reverse shackles and Panrods rods front axle to help it steer, as well as any other modern vehicle. The body has had a 100mm chop off the top and has been made 300mm longer to accommodate the extra cab, with all custom glass. This is all being pushed along with a Nissan SD 33 Turbo with watered air intercooler, 5-speed driving patrol diffs with air lockers. But Shane has the truck back in the shed for a new heart, a 1HZ Turbo with water-to-air and air-to-air intercooler for more towing power. The custom rear tray has an electric powered lift to gain access to the spare wheel, batteries and toolboxes. Even the interior in Shane's FJ45 has not gone untouched. Everything is totally custom. From custom seats to front and rear roof consoles housing all the essentials for communications and audio equipment. If Tony Stark was driving an FJ45, he'd be driving something like Shane's. This build had taken Shane 3 years and was built as a tow vehicle and a social wheeler to accommodate Shane's other hobbies. Shane, wow! When I first saw your Cruiser, I was totally intrigued. I could tell that you'd done a fair bit of work to it, especially the body, but until you started sharing your story, I had no idea and how comprehensive you had modified your vehicle. You have purpose-built your vehicle to what you want, and that's the best thing. We all have these ideas of what we want to achieve at the end of the day, and I tell you what, Shane, you've achieved it, and far beyond that. Righto, so now it's time for an update on Shane's FJ45 1965 build. Righto, so let's have a quick look at some of the upgrades that Shane's done to only improve his FJ45. So straight away you see that it not has one intercooler but two intercoolers, air to air, air to water. Shane tells me even after a hot day of pushing this motor, it's still cool to touch. So I have no handbrake on the axle or the gearbox. Shane had to custom build something. So with a wheelwood handbrake caliper and a custom made disc, also adapted to fit the Nissan drive shaft, the trans tunnel had to be completely remade to seat the new motor and box. The tube cross member had to be cut out of the frame, and new bolts and the cross member had to be made. And as you can see, Shane's made a whole new tray setup. The new tray now accommodates two spare wheels mounted on both sides of the tray. Both these spare wheels are mounted on trailer hubs, so the wheels are free spinning, and they're just set below the frame so they'll rotate if the back hits the ground. On top of this, the suspension has been changed to make it ride and flex even better than it did before, with just a little bit of fine tuning. Few last little minor touches that Shane's going to do. So Shane still adds a bit of air conditioning to it to give that extra little bit of comfort inside the cab on those really hot days, and a little bit of tweaking with the snorkel and the air box coming into the motor. But on top of that, Shane continues to perfect his FJ45. So it was awesome to be able to share Shane's FJ45 from before, but it's even better to be able to see that he hasn't stopped building this vehicle to exactly the way he wants it and continues to make modifications every time he sees that something needs an upgrade. Good on you, Shane, and I look forward to seeing this in another 12 months' time to see what other changes you made. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves.